And so you don't know which line to lift. It's kind of a guessing game. So you could stand up.
Get this woman a sandwich.
That's right. Well, probably if I ate much now, I would fall asleep. You have to see me slide down in my chair. Do they have good sandwiches, Crystal? They have good sandwiches out there now? Are they fresh? Are they fresh?
Where's that at?
Our vending machine.
Oh.
We're excited we got a new vending machine. Yes, she texted me she was in traffic. Yes, ma'am. She made it. She just walked in.
Oh, she did, okay, great.
The meeting's over.
I missed it. Yes, he's on vacation today and Saturday.
Good. You look snazzy.
Thank you.
I can't believe you still put in your uniform.
Yeah. I'm comfortable. It's the first time I've worn this long sleeve.
Did you put Spanx on underneath?
Huh?
Did you put Spanx on?
I got the girdle that you they pull that string and
Huh? How many tickets did you get? None. My husband almost got one this morning though. Laughing at him. Actually, throw it out and give it to this one. Thank you for giving me an agenda.
Oh boy. Oh, excuse me. You know what I said oh boy about. Oh my gosh. This is so heavy. Can I take that down right now? Yes, if you want to.
It's so heavy.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
We used to go to La Solana, we used to go to Oyster Bay. It took me an hour and a half to get across town today. Left school at 4. But there was an accident on 410, the flyover was closed. And
Okay, Mayor, you are ready? Okay, we are ready. It's 6 o'clock. Good evening and welcome to the Leon Valley City Council meeting. We're so glad so many of you could join us this evening. Today's Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, and it's approximately 6 p.m. And as you can see, we do have a quorum. Not all council members are present. Councilor Orozco is out of town, and he will be excused this evening on the consent agenda. So I've asked Councilor Beth Mersch to please lead us in the pledge. If you would please stand. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Agenda item number 2 is citizens to be heard. Are there any citizens in our chambers that would like to address the council? Please come forward to our podium and state your name and just generally where you live, and you have up to 3 minutes to speak. Thank you. Good evening and welcome.
I have some handouts also. Hi, I'm Brian Cordeaux, and I live in Kennerfield. I've been here in Leon Valley for about a year. And let me just say, like, officers, the public works, everyone here has been so super friendly. I love this community. I know all of my neighbors, and that doesn't always happen in communities, even like smaller communities like this one. So I just, I love it here. It's a great place to live. I'm super happy to be living here in Leon Valley. I'm here to talk about the bathroom signs and the other signs that are across our city at the library, the park, the pool, that were made to comply with Senate Bill 8. And I'm just, one of the things that I think sometimes young people and children struggle with is gender identity and gender expression. And this is like one more death by a thousand cuts, so to speak. They get made fun of at their schools, at their all across the city. And in the parks and the safe spaces, it's just one of those things that, like, I think we are over complying with Senate Bill 8 by putting that, that billboard of a bathroom sign there. And I just wanted to bring this to your attention that this may not be an issue that any of us struggle with, but for those kids that do struggle with, I think this is a one more cut that they're going to be facing in our park, in our library, especially those safe spaces where they just want to go use the restroom, and now they have to read this whole sign and try to figure out, like, well, which bathroom is for me now. So I'm just calling to really replace those signs. If you look at the handout I gave, Helotes and San Antonio, all other parts of the city, they just have that standard bathroom sign. And from my reading of SB 8, it does appear that they're still in compliance with that without having to have all of those additional pieces of text there. So I'm just calling for those standard bathroom signs to be put back up there so that we don't have these children and youth sort of have to, like, read this whole, billboard to figure out which bathroom they should be using.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
those words this evening. We appreciate it. Yes,
So as the signs
City
come down,
manager.
because we've had some that have been pulled down, we will be replacing them with biological male and biological female signs, which will be the replacement of those larger signs. But as they get replaced, we did spend a substantial amount of money to put those signs up. And so as they start deteriorating or need to come down, then that's, unless council gives us different direction.
Okay, and it's still within the law, the new law, is that correct?
Biological male and biological female seems to fit
Okay, very
within
good.
those rates.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate it. All right, anyone else? Good evening and welcome.
Good evening. My name is Evan Bowl for Stokes Kennerfield. Coming forward tonight with not surprise, some disappointment in the overall council that the last time this community was given the opportunity to know anything about its candidates running for office, much less know that there was an election, was 4 years ago when we had a candidate forum presented by the League of Women's Voters, put on through an association with the mayor. About 4 years ago and later, some of us citizens tried to put on and put together a forum that did not rely on the mayor reaching out to the League of Women's Voters to invite them. The League of Women's Voters is a large organization that deals with all sorts of races, and oftentimes we get left by the wayside unless called upon by the mayor. But we were told, the citizens were told, that it had to be a special organization, that they couldn't, we couldn't use the facilities to put on a candidate forum, and when the solution to do so was put forward, we were ultimately shut down. 4 years ago, we were ultimately shut down again, and every year we have an election. If the burden is having an election every year, change when we have an election. Do it like San Antonio. Make all races by every 2 years, and that way we can begin to save our resources and not put such a burden on organizations to be the medium for our forums. But that's not been the practice. We don't know what some of the candidates' mindsets are, except what we can hopefully get out through next door in this community, which is the best way of communicating with our neighbors when some aren't gatekeeping information and posts. We have been able to get out, door to door, but that's very, very burdensome to some. And ultimately, we have new, younger people moving into the community, and social media is their way, or being notified about a candidate forum is their way of reaching out to their soon-to-be elected officials or current elected officials to decide whether they want to keep you. But ultimately, we need to change that, and I'm highly disappointed that when it wasn't possibly brought up 2 months ago, that no one on the council seemed to have voiced that desire for the involvement of the community. You seek people to sit on the boards and commissions. You seek involvement from the citizens then, but you don't seek them to know who we are when we run for office.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your comments. Anyone else like to address the council? Please come forward. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I just would like to say the
And your
schedule.
name?
Tina Chasen.
Yes, we just want it for the
Forest Oaks.
record. Yes, ma'am, thank you.
I'd just like to say that if I remember correctly, the last 2 times, the League of Women Voters were asked about having a forum for the discussion of the candidates. It was stated that there was a scheduling problem, so it had nothing to do with our mayor or the council not listening to the citizens. I just want to say that I'm very proud to live in Leon Valley. I like full information, truthful information to get out to the public, and I really resent some individuals who say that it wasn't addressed a month ago or 2 months ago. Why wasn't he here for the past 2 years speaking out and showing his concerns? Every 2 years we go through this with this individual at election time as he makes his bid for mayor. And I just want the public to know that it's really getting old. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anyone else? Okay, seeing no one else, then we will go to presentation 3.1, recognition of, it says Jim Wells, and I just talked to Jimmy, I know him as Jimmy Wells, Leon Valley Police Department for 40 years of service to the city of Leon Valley. And let me go down, I have a proclamation and we have a beautiful plaque to give you as well. Thank you. I'll just hold it. Thank you. Put that in my pocket. Well, Jimmy, how does it feel? 40 years. Woo.
Long time.
I
It's been a
know.
good ride. Been
Yeah.
a good ride.
But you're gonna stay around for a while, right?
It's getting close.
Okay. I had to ask.
It's getting close.
All right. Well, very good. Let me start with this proclamation of appreciation. And it says, whereas Jimmy Wells has I've got to put my glasses on.
Rendered.
I know, rendered. I wanted to say reduced. No. Okay, whereas
Expanded.
whereas Jim Wells has rendered 40 years of exemplary and devoted service to the Leon Valley Police Department, having begun his distinguished career as a police officer in 1985 and subsequently earning promotion to the rank of detective in 1997. And whereas Detective Wells further demonstrated his unwavering commitment to the safety and well-being of the community through his dedicated service on the Lone Star Task Force from 1990 to 1997. And whereas throughout his remarkable 40-year tenure, Jimmy Wells has consistently exemplified the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, and public service, and presently serves with distinction as a detective, diligently investigating criminal cases and responsibly managing the Leon Valley Police Department impound lot. And whereas the City of Leon Valley recognizes with deep appreciation the extraordinary dedication, steadfast commitment, and invaluable contributions of those who devote their careers to public service, and deems such a significant milestone worthy of formal and lasting recognition. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Chris Riley, Mayor of the City of Leon Valley, Texas, together with the Leon Valley City Council, do hereby extend our profound gratitude and highest commendation to Jimmy Wells for his 40 years of loyal, faithful, and distinguished service to the citizens of Leon Valley. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Leon Valley to be affixed this 21st day of April, 2026. Mayor Chris Riley. Congratulations. Awesome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And this also goes to you. This thing is heavy. Whoa. There you go. You're going to be looking at it every night
That's it.
and be
That's it.
thinking, 40 years. Whoa, my gosh.
Thank you very
Jimmy,
much.
please, say some profound words.
Y'all ready?
yeah.
No, it's been a,
Let me hold this
Oh,
for
I-
you since you held
all right.
the proclamation for
Okay,
me.
no, I'll
Thank
take-
you.
okay. It's been a good ride. I've enjoyed myself. I've been here since we used to ride horses on patrol. And, but I want to thank you, Mayor, and Crystal Cadera, and all the staff, Chief Gonzalez, the other administration, employees, people that I work with. It's been a great place. We're just one big family. And I just want to thank y'all, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Thank you, Jimmy.
You bet. Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. And we're going to say goodbye. We're saying so long until you decide you want to retire fully,
Yes, sir.
right? Okay, thank you. All righty. Appreciate it. All right. Anything else? Would anybody else like to say anything, Chief? Well, I didn't want to put you on the spot, but you are the chief. Okay, there you go. I'm going to make you say something. Okay.
So Jimmy doesn't like to be recognized,
Oh, he
but
doesn't.
he's got 40 years here, and he was a policeman before.
No way. You
Oh,
should have
yes.
that in the proclamation.
So he has 40-plus years as a
Okay.
peace officer for the state of Texas.
That's wonderful.
We are grateful.
44. Okay.
We appreciate him
Yes.
every
okay,
day.
We do. Thank you, Jimmy. And thank you, Chief. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I did. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, great. So the next, yes. Oh, yes, yes. Oh. I see in the hood. Okay. Don't drop it. That's heavy. Okay. All right. Presentation number 3.2. Presentation of newly hired Leon Valley police officers, Gillian, Mendez, Reyna, Nunez, Fox, and we have our Assistant Chief, Brian Sullivan, here this evening to begin the pinning ceremony. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we honor our newly hired police officers. We thank you for keeping us safe.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Mayor. I'd like to thank the mayor, city council, and the city manager for inviting us here today to conduct a badge pinning ceremony for our newly hired officers. The pinning of a new badge is a cherished tradition in law enforcement. When an officer receives a badge, it is a symbol of honor, integrity, accountability, and the solemn oath to serve and protect. It is our duty to celebrate this as we invite new officers into this profession. Being a police officer is a calling, not just a job, and not everyone is cut out for this. It can mean long hours away from family, dealing with people having the worst days of their lives, and at times making split-second decisions that will have lifelong consequences. There are amazing rewards also. Great friendships can develop. Officers can see and experience the best that humanity has to offer, not just the worst. And they can make a difference in the community and in the lives of the people they serve. From long experience, I can tell you that the support of family and friends will be key to the success of these young officers. As a family, you will share the burden of being a police officer, along with the stressors of the job. And Jimmy's family can attest to all of that. Every sacrifice your officer makes will be your sacrifice also. But a shared burden is a lighter burden. And so my hope is that you will deal with the stresses of family and not just as individuals. Okay, now to the badge pinning. You guys ready? Okay. All right. So your family members are free to come up, pin the badge. I have the badge with me. And you'll take a picture afterwards. As a group, later on, we'll go into the hallway, okay? All right. So Officer Gabriel Guillen, badge 578. Officer Roxanne Mendez couldn't be here because of a family matter she had to deal with. So next will be Anthony Reyna, Officer Anthony Reyna. Officer Michael Nunez. And last but not least, Officer Devon Fox.
Oh, that's beautiful. Precious. Uh-oh. That was a good one.
A few final words, if I get a few more minutes. These officers represent the future of our department. They have accepted the responsibility to serve with integrity, courage, and professionalism, and they now join a profession that demands much more every single day. To the new officers, your badge represents the trust your community puts in you. Wear it with pride, serve with honor, and never forget the responsibility that you now bear. In closing, I'd like to thank the City Council, the Mayor, and all the city representatives here today. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Chief. We appreciate it. All right, very good. Thank you so much. It was a beautiful ceremony. All right. All right. Okay. Thank you all very much. We appreciate you being here this evening. Thanks to all the family members as well for your support. It takes a village, right, to keep our community safe. So wonderful. All right. Yes, that's, now everybody will leave, but that's okay. We miss y'all. Bye. Okay, thank y'all for being here. Really appreciate it. Okay. That happens quite a bit, doesn't it? We have a chair full and then they'll leave. That's okay. All right. Especially like with the Boy Scouts and stuff. Okay, so we will move on to presentation 3.3. Presentation and discussion of the monthly financial report ending March 31st, 2026. And we have Carol Gehring, our finance officer, financial director here this evening to present. Good evening.
Good evening,
So
Mayor
good to
and
see you.
Council. Same.
You bet.
We'll be going over the March financial report this evening, starting with the general fund. Ad valorem and sales tax is very comparable to last year. Franchise taxes are slightly higher, and this is due to our CPA's franchise that varies every quarterly. License and permits are lower than last year, and this is due to the tree mitigation permits we issued last year. On miscellaneous revenue, you will see a decrease, and if we look at the next slide, we'll see that it was because of the sales of property we had last year. So that's the difference. Overall, in expenditures, they're at target or under the 50% target. The only one that I want to address is code and animal control. Last year we had 0, and that's because this is a new department this fiscal year.
Okay. Carol, I had a question on the Parks and Rec. Is that the budget versus the actual? Is that the hike and bike is there?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. And then I'm not sure what else is in that. Just seems like
Just the park maintenance.
just the
and
park
then,
maintenance.
and then you will have
Okay.
the hike and bike.
Okay. So as we begin the reimbursement, then it'll come out of that
Once we
fund.
start with the construction, I believe that
It's
some meetings ago,
Yeah.
the contractor was approved.
right.
So
Okay,
once we
good.
start construction, the hike and bike, then that amount will increase.
we'll see that. Okay, very very good. Thank you.
Which actually you will also see once we start receiving the hike and bike grants, you will see on the miscellaneous revenue.
Okay, very good. Excellent. Thank you.
Sorry, Mayor, you just
Yes.
didn't see me.
City
If you
manager.
notice, if you go to the general fund slide, really quick, Carol, the first slide,
okay.
we put projected ending fund balance at the very bottom.
Okay.
Is that, remember how we were having the conversation? That's part of my goals and objectives. Y'all would like to see that? Is that, does that suffice for that? Or,
Well, I'm gonna. Does anyone have any, Counselor?
like, that's what we're thinking
Campos,
as
is
of
that-
right now?
Go ahead.
I think, for a ballpark, I think that would work at the moment, yes.
And then as we get closer to the end of the year, then of course that we can shore up that number. But is that kind of what y'all were thinking a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
very
thank
good.
you.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask one question on this
Excuse me,
particular side.
Counselor Campos would like to ask you a question.
So on, and Carol, you know that I've supplied you with these questions in advance, so the transfers in at 86.2% of the budget, how did we arrive at that amount? I know it's a journal entry, I understand that part, but why this amount did we allocate to this particular report?
So the transfers in are compromised with the personal share that we share between funds that get transferred into general fund. We also have the ARP ambulance, and the last one is $9,000 from the PEG funds,
Okay.
reserve fund. So the reason why I did the journal entry for the personal, which is that 86%, which is the 1.6 million, is because that's an amount that is already budgeted at the beginning of the year. So we already know that we have to transfer that amount for personnel. Now, I haven't done the ambulance or the PEG fund because those are tied to purchases. Once we purchase those items, then I'll do the journal entry. Because if we don't purchase them during this fiscal year, I won't do
We'll roll it over,
the
yeah.
transfer.
Okay, all right.
Moving to the water, sewer, and storm fund, you will see that the water, sewer, and storm sales are very comparable to last year. Miscellaneous revenue is higher than last year, and this is because we received $9,000 from the SOS list, and the difference is because the city auctioned a vehicle from the enterprise fund.
Okay. I had a question on the other sources uses. What is that line?
That's the transfer for the personnel into the general
Personnel.
fund.
Okay,
Yes.
very good. All right. Didn't say transfer, so,
Oh,
okay,
okay.
thank you.
Yes.
Just you used a different word. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
The water system is lower
Mm-hmm.
than last year's because last year we bought the water rights. The sewer and the storm water, they're higher than last year, and this is due to capital projects and purchase of equipment. The capital projects we have is Forest Oaks, County Way,
Mm-hmm.
and the equipment that we purchased was a brush truck, a backhoe, and a wood chipper. And those are the difference between last year and this year.
Okay. All right.
That's the miscellaneous revenue. Now going to community center. Community center, the revenue will change because it's based on usage. However, in this quarter, you'll see that the revenue remained very comparable to last year. Expenditures are tracking and on budget and also to prior year.
And the conference center seems to be doing really well
Yes,
this year already. It's at 50, you know,
yes, Miranda.
so that's good. Thank you, Crystal, for that.
Moving to economic development, the sales tax is comparable to last year. Overall expenditures are tracking under the target percentage of 50%. You'll see that the personnel decreased a little bit, but this is because of the vacancy that we had. And contractual, it's higher than last year, but this is related to the city paying some grants with local businesses that we had.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Impound lot, the revenue is higher than last year, and this is mainly due to impound lot fees and auctions that we had. I believe that the police department will have another auction before the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, next month.
Okay.
And expenditures are fairly the same as last year, very comparable. The only one will be contractual, that is a little bit higher, but this is related to how many auctions the city have. So it's kind of like offsetting one of the other one. Moving to red light camera. If we look at the red light camera fines, you'll see that it increased by almost $257,000. So if we go to the next slide very quickly, you'll see that the variance of tickets paid between fiscal year 25 and 26 is almost $2,000. If we assume that everyone paid $75, which is the ticket, then we'll see that it increased by almost $160,000, which is the variance that you'll see in the revenue.
Okay. Counselor Campos.
So if you go to the next slide, so those are numbers, number of tickets, not dollars paid, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So as of the expenditures are tracking on the with the budget. The one thing that I do want to mentioned is on the bottom, where there's the unaudited portion. If the fiscal year was to end as of March 31st, we will have a revenue of $21,000, which is good.
Okay.
And
Anyone else?
that's it.
Okay, and there's our
Fund
fund
balance is this.
balance, okay. Maybe that's where it ought to be, our fund balance, your estimate on this sheet, not on the first, that's what was confusing me. Yeah. Well, I know it's from 2025.
Five,
Yeah,
and so,
mhm,
but then I
yeah,
put the
gotcha.
projected, because y'all wanted to see
Yeah,
what we were,
mhm.
could be left over
Okay,
with.
there you go,
and
I
so
get
don't-
you, yeah.
But we can take this out completely, I just wanted to remind you, this is what you ended last year with.
Oh, I
But then
like
you have
it. Yeah, I
expenditures.
think it's good.
That
Don't y'all?
you have capital in this year, which brings down that 8.3 to the capital you're gonna spend this year. And that's why we're projecting about 6.3
Right.
in your ending
Okay,
fund balance.
very good. Carol, as usual, thank you so much for keeping
Thank
track of the citizens' money. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All righty,
Thank you.
take care. All right, next is presentation 3.4, presentation, discussion, and possible action on a multiple-use agreement with the Texas Department of Transportation allowing the installation and operation of automated license plate recognition cameras in Texas Department of Transportation right-of-way. We have our Police Chief, David Gonzalez, here this evening to present. Good evening and welcome.
Mayor, council.
You bet.
So, this resolution is necessary before we can proceed with our safety camera
Right.
program. So the council's being asked to consider approving the resolution authorizing me to reach an agreement with TxDOT. I am certain that it will be very similar to what the city agreed to do with the red light cameras, because we used their property just like we're asking to use their property again. The purpose, again, is to seek authorization and to move forward so we can install these safety cameras. Approval of the resolution aligns with the city's goals and objectives in enhancing public safety. The consensus of CPAC and the council on a previous date, this is something that we want to move towards to help us in our work. The fiscal impact of authorizing me to get into this agreement with TxDOT has no fiscal impact now.
Okay, very good. Chief, so you've got to get this resolution signed, and then you start working with TxDOT. What is the timeline from that point to installation?
So installation has started
Oh, it has.
on our infrastructure.
Oh, okay,
We need their permission to use theirs.
okay, I see. So just, okay, very good. Counselor Mersch, and then
So
City Manager.
this is to allow us to use the cameras on their property on Bandera Road and Grissom,
Correct,
but if it's our street, we don't need that.
correct,
And we don't need their permission to even run the cameras.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
And the total number of cameras that we'll have?
13.
13, okay.
We initially started, we were going to do 14.
Mhm.
One of them did not work out.
Okay, very good. City Manager Caldera.
So my experience with them is dealing with the red light cameras when we had to do the installation of the red light cameras along Bandera Road. So it took us 6 months to 8 months to even get permission to do it, just depending on who we've got contacts with. The big thing as far as this agreement goes is more of, they just want to not be held responsible for the infrastructure that we put on there. So if they're taken down or they're damaged, TxDOT doesn't want any claim over having to repair or replace those cameras. So the majority of that agreement is more of like, yes, you can use our infrastructure, but we're not going to be responsible. We want to waive the right, disclaimer. If there's any suits in dealing with the cameras or somebody comes forward, they're basically saying we're not responsible for any of that, but we'll allow you to use our infrastructure. So just kind of give you a context of what that
Okay.
agreement involves.
Great, I appreciate that. Anyone else? Yes, Counselor Campos.
And I just want to reiterate something that you did say, that the CPAC, the Citizens Committee, had consensus in moving forward.
Yes.
With these cameras, so thank you.
And so are the cameras that are on our right-of-way or whatever, are they being
No, ma'am.
in?
They're installed, they could be working, but we
They're not
are
working
not
yet.
using the system yet.
Okay, are you going to wait until they're all up?
Yes,
And then, okay, very good. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, we have a question or a comment from one of our citizens. Mr. Bowl, come on up.
So thank you. Yes. So first, of a couple questions. What is the purpose of this license plate reader? Sitting here, I just heard it's very similar to the red light camera process, and that when I was looking through the agenda packet, which we just saw, it was conveniently left out what that is entirely. So what is the purpose of these readers to do? Yes, that'll be the first question.
Yeah.
They will be used for investigative purposes, and if you look at November 4th, I think it was, that was where the presentation was.
That's right. We discussed it earlier.
Yes.
Exactly. Thank you.
And last question. So you're talking about putting in 13, 14 cameras, and we don't have an idea of what the fiscal impact is, whether it's going to be net or otherwise?
Yeah. Right. City Manager Caldera?
There is no fiscal impact because it isn't a revenue generating camera. They are there to be investigative tools for our investigators in order to catch criminals. We can't afford to have 13 additional officers, so these cameras are to help our investigators. If we get a call in because there's a mail theft and they saw a white pickup truck, we're able to log in and kind of view the route that that white pickup truck took after they broke into the camera system. And so it's an investigative tool. We're not expecting any revenue to come from those cameras or the resources.
Okay, so it's purely an expenditure.
That we
It's a
received a
grant.
grant from, yes.
Okay, that we received a grant. Okay, so
Right.
that's not coming out of our fund.
Correct.
Okay.
No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Campos?
Mayor, this is citizens to be heard, not citizens to be, where they have questions to be answered. This was covered in other agendas. If they don't do the research, this is not a forum to answer questions.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I believe we need a motion and a second to approve this resolution, please. I'll make a motion. Okay. All right, we have a motion by Counselor Bolton and a second by Counselor Heil to approve the resolution for the cameras, the multi-use agreement with the TxDOT Department of Transportation for the cameras. All those, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry. Thank you. All right, let's move then to agenda item 3.5, discussion and possible action or direction to staff regarding the frequency of citywide garage sales. And we have Sandra Posole, our city secretary, here this evening to present. And I brought this just to the one of my block walking, and this was the question that came up pretty consistently. They said, can we have two, one in the spring and one in the fall? And it was related to clothing, believe it or not, because in the March sale, they had a lot of winter clothing, and it wasn't being sold because they weren't, so they said one in the spring, one in the fall. So that's how, and all of a sudden it's on the agenda. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here.
You're welcome. Good
Yeah.
evening.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we did get the question, can we have more than one citywide garage sale? And you can, but you would have to amend your ordinances, of course,
Yeah,
because
I
it is in your code to allow for 4 garage sales. Is that too loud? Am I talking loud? To hold 4 garage sales, one being the citywide garage sale. And I did talk to Beth in permits, and she said she does keep track of how many people do. And I think she said only 2 last year exceeded the 4, or tried to. So it's not that you can't have a second garage sale. That's up to y'all if you want to. The only thing is that we don't charge. There's no permit fee anymore. And I'm not using this. Y'all saw the numbers in here, but there is no fee, so you don't recoup anything from the ad. So when you did the citywide garage sale, you also, the city pays for that notice in Express News classified. which was
Okay.
right at 200 this year. So you would just have to
Mm.
amend
Yeah.
the ordinance to make 2 of the 4, or however you want, whatever you want to do. Again, you don't charge for them, so. And I don't really hear anything from the police department about violations with the signs. I think pretty much everybody picks them up after they're done, so it's really to your discretion.
Yeah, it was news to me. I didn't know we had an ad, that we paid $200 for. Isn't that strange? I just didn't realize that. Did y'all? Yeah, okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. But I thought, I didn't know we had an ad. So, anyway. So,
It's a treat to the person, who's having the garage sale. And then
sure.
if there's multiple homes on the street, which I think some areas have learned that. I feel bad for when I have one person on one street. And, I'm like, get your neighbors, because, the more they have, the better. But people do look at the ad. I think this is when did we do this? 4 years ago? Yeah,
Well, we
something like
used to
that.
charge $5, as the packet said, right?
Right, it was $10 for a
10
long time, and then it went to 5.
5, and then we got rid of it, yeah. And I can't remember why. Why did we get rid of it?
Because the council at the
$5?
time said it was not enough revenue for the amount of time your staff was
Okay.
taking to do
All
it.
right, all right. So, I don't know, like I said, this was just a response to a citizen suggestion. So, yes, Counselor Mersch.
Well, as a participant in the
Oh,
citywide
that's
garage
right.
sale,
You did.
I want to say I really appreciate the fact that you did it earlier this year before it got really hot. Having it in March is a great idea. So I agree that having another one in the fall would be another good idea, because I know there's the $200 expense, which is a bonus, and getting your address listed on the list of participating garage sales is also helpful. But I think if somebody doesn't want to do the citywide garage sale, they can still have an independent one on their own or whatever. But I think it does drive up the traffic that's going through Leon Valley. And this year, I definitely saw more traffic. So either they started off of Bandera instead of off of Evers, and, going to Forest Oaks and that kind of stuff. But I think the timing to have it earlier in the spring was perfect.
Yeah, but did you see the numbers?
Yeah, the numbers were
They
lower.
dropped, but
Yeah.
I found out, I think I know why. The
Why?
library hosted a swap
Oh,
the same weekend or the weekend before, which I didn't know about, but apparently it was this thing where you could take your stuff and just swap your junk with somebody else's junk.
oh, really? I did not know that.
So I
Huh.
think maybe that had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but we did get a lot of requests last year, hey, can you do it earlier? And when you look at the calendar with all these events that we have to take in consideration, Earthwise, Fiesta, election, I mean, there's a lot in the spring. So we did bump it up early, but I was kind of disappointed because last year I was like, ooh, we had the most last year.
And
And I
that was at
thought
the
we
end
were
of
just
May.
gonna-
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm. I noticed that too. Yes, Counselor.
I'm also going to suggest that the lower number might also be a result of it coming up earlier in the year, and people really weren't expecting it that early. So it's like, oh, I don't have time to get ready for a garage sale
I put
right
it out
now.
2 months before. Crystal and I were pushing it out, so nobody,
Yeah.
we don't want anybody to say, oh, we didn't have time, because I know if I'm going to have one, I need to know 6 months in advance. So the earlier the better. So we did push it out early, but I think it was just, there's so much going on.
Yeah.
Okay. What do y'all think? I mean, that's just, like I said, we would have to amend the ordinance, is that right? So, yes, Counselor,
I have
Counselor
no
Campos.
objections in support of adding the additional garage sale.
Okay, anybody else? I don't have any objections. Okay. All right. All
Um,
right. And we have to increase our budget, though, by
Or
$200.
consider a permit fee again. And so that would be something I'm going to just throw out there, because if we're bringing it back, we could do the whole thing at one time, but that's
Oh.
something else to
Do
consider.
y'all think adding the permit fee?
$5 has never been an unreasonable amount to pay for it. The only thing that I had found to be, only part that I thought was hard was that I physically had to come to City Hall to do it. Getting off work to do that. Being able to do it online would be a lot easier.
Are we able to do that online?
Okay, well, it's been
Okay.
a while since I've had a garage sale.
Okay, all right, so we could do it online.
Okay.
I don't know, what do y'all think?
No, I think charging the $5 and then having it twice a year, I don't think that should pay for it. Go ahead.
Yes, Counselor Mersch.
I don't think the $5 is excessive at all compared to what San Antonio charges for garage sales. And it also makes it an extra treat when you have the citywide garage sale with no fee. It kind of gives you a bonus reason to have it on that same day.
Well, the fee just really is going to cover those notices
Right,
for
but-
the two, right?
But the
The
perk of
user,
having it
I'm
in the
thinking,
Express
oh boy,
News.
there's
Right.
no fee.
Right.
Yeah.
Bless you.
So it would still be no fee for the citywide
Right,
garage sales,
but-
right?
But it
Okay.
would be $5 for any other one.
So
Okay.
keeping it two, regular on your own garage sales and two, so you want total of 4 still?
I think so. What do y'all think?
I think that's
Sport.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, I can put it on the agenda for
Thank
next
you.
month, or the 5th.
okay, all right. And we could probably put that in the consent agenda if that would.
Yes.
Can
Oh,
we
do
do
have
the
to have-
first read?
We have to have. I'm sorry? We still have to read it one time. Okay, there we go. I was just trying to sneak it through. Okay, because it's non-controversial. Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, thank you.
Ms. Postle, I do appreciate it. Yes, Counselor.
Mayor,
Campos.
before we go to the announcements,
Uh-huh.
I'd like to seek my colleagues' approval. If we could move one of the regular agenda items up.
Uh-huh. Which
We
one?
have some members in our audience that they own a business and they're here while their business is still open. And it's on regular agenda 7.3. It's regarding the BYOB
Okay,
permit for the
All
staging
right.
post.
all right. Are there
If
any
we could-
objections from my colleagues to moving it up next? And then we'll go back to the announcements and then continue from then? Okay, very good. Since there's no objections, good evening, Mr. Gallardo. We're glad you're here. We are going to now address 7.3, regular agenda, discussion and possible action of an application for a BYOB permit for staging post located at 6150 Wurzbach Road. And we have our Planning and Zoning Director here, Michael Gallardo, to present. Good evening and welcome. Glad you're here.
So City Council is being asked to consider approving an application for a BYOB permit to be located at 6150 Wurzbach Road. And as we all know, that's the staging post. Your options are to approve, deny, or other. The BYOB permit is compatible with the surrounding area. Strictly retail in that area. So the applicant must be 21 years of age, must not have any violations or suspensions with the Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission, must pass a criminal background check. So this is primarily where the location is going to be at, 6150 Wurzbach, and that's the suite that it's in. Fiscal impact: the applicant has paid all fees associated with the BYOB permit application. The applicant may apply for no more than 4 consecutive permits. Permit is good for 90 days. Recommendation is going to be at council's discretion. And I'll field any questions if you have any.
Very good. Yes, Counselor Campos.
Thank you, Mayor.
You're
So,
welcome.
Today, I visited with 2 owners of the limited liability company that owns the staging post. And to get a better understanding, why are they seeking this BYOB for their operations? And they said, they explained to me, and they may come up if you so choose, but it's similar to, they're requesting it because they want to have some activities that are similar to when you paint painting with a twist. I don't mean
correct.
to name a program or a brand out there, and to allow those individuals participating to bring their bottle of wine while they're doing that craft or other activity in a certain area within their operations. It's not for, their intent is not for them to have it handed out to customers so that they can walk around their shop. That's not what their intent is, as I understood it. So I just wanted to explain what that's about. And, you know, I don't know if any of my colleagues here tonight remember, but we had a problem with a BYOB permit off of Wurzbach Road with like an after-hours club, and that's what I was concerned about. So I was glad to hear what the purpose was. I understand it, and so I don't know if we would want to hear
Sure.
anything from
Yes,
the
that would
two-
be great. If you would just come on up and state your name and just generally where you reside.
Hello,
Hi.
I'm Jesselyn Smith, and I'm the proud owner, and this is my husband, Rene Frias.
Hi, how are you?
And, yeah, we'd be happy to answer any questions for you guys.
Okay, so I had a question. I understand that, okay, so you would like to apply for this BYOB. It's good for 90 days, and then after that, you can renew it for 4 more times. So that's like approximately a little bit more than,
360 days.
yeah, exactly. And so then what would you do after that?
So we wanted to have like a monthly class, like once a month.
Uh-huh,
Our first one's Bangle and Earrings.
okay,
And it's a 2-hour class. It'd be on Friday evening from 5 to 7.
okay.
And so it's about 10 participants is how much we can kind of fit in the class right now.
Mhm,
And they would just be able to bring like, like a wine cooler or something
mhm,
and
mhm.
enjoy that while they were doing their craft activity.
Right, and so I guess my question was, I understand that, but then say the 90 days end, are you going to come back and renew your permit?
Yeah, if it
And then-
works out, yeah, like if the
Oh, if
class
it
works
works out.
out. And
Okay,
yeah, 'cause we
gotcha.
haven't started the classes yet,
Okay,
so.
because I understood from speaking with the manager, it's only good for 4 more renewals. So then what? I guess you'll just cross that bridge when you
Right, like
come
it
to it.
depends on
Okay,
if the
there you go.
class is-
I tend to want to, plan way in advance. That's crazy. Okay, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
And it sounds like a lot of fun. Yes. Yes, Betty.
What are the
Counselor
hours
Heil.
that you're going to be open?
I'm sorry?
What are your hours that
Oh,
you'll be
we're
in?
open from 10 to 7.
Okay, so it's just during the
yeah,
day,
12
it's
to 5
not
on
at night or
Sundays.
anything?
No, yeah, no, we're not open after hours.
So these classes will be, like you said, 5 to 7, something like that? Okay.
And even if we were only doing it for the class.
Okay. And are y'all open 7 days a week? That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Okay.
10 to 7, Monday through Saturday,
Mhm.
and then 12 to 5 on Sundays.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
And
we were
since
there for the
vintage-
grand opening. It was, yeah, you had a lot of vendors. Yes, Counselor Marsh.
So are you going to encourage the participants to bring their wine, or is there anything to stop somebody from bringing hard liquor with a BYOB permit? No? So
I don't think anybody's going to be bringing like
clientele's
shot
not gonna be
glasses or
doing
no.
shots or
I'm
anything?
thinking like these are like women that, yeah, they're thinking like wine, like a wine. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Okay. Do you know of any other venues such as yours that do?
Oh, there's a couple of places
Is
that I've
there?
heard of.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Some here in some in San Antonio and some across like South Texas. But
Okay.
like the most popular one is Painting with a Twist.
Okay.
And there's some other
But
places
see,
that do
I
like
did-
a.
Yeah, okay, see, I haven't been there, so I don't know that one, but, when I went to your grand opening, these are booths selling different items, and so it was explained to me that it would be a separate class.
Right.
So that's
It's
what
in
I
the
couldn't
back.
figure out. Now, where would the BYOB come in? But I understand it now, so thank you for your explanation.
class, and we wouldn't allow them to walk around or anything.
Now me and one of the vendors were talking about getting bands, like wristbands. So if you
Oh.
get because you pay for the class, so you
Okay.
pay, so that because we pay the instructor, and then we
Okay.
pay for the materials,
Mm-hmm,
so they can make their art.
okay,
And then, so it would be, those participants would be coming just for the class,
mm-hmm.
and they pay for the class, and so we would give them a wristband.
And you have a certain section in your
Mhm.
building for that class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we just didn't see it that day that we were there, because it was pretty, you've got a big area, don't you? Yeah, it's huge. Okay. Well, I wish you all the luck. Okay,
thank
so
you.
what's the pleasure of the council on this agenda item, if there's no other questions?
Do we need to read this?
No,
Or able
mm-mm.
to vote on this?
Yeah,
Okay,
just
I'd
a
like to
vote.
make a motion that we approve the application for a BYOB permit for the staging post located at 6150 Warsbach Road.
Yes.
I'd like to second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Counselor Campos and a second by Counselor Mersch to approve the application for a BYOB permit for staging post located at 6150 Wurzbach Road. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion does carry. Thank you and congratulations. I hope it all works out. All righty, I know it will. So, and thank you, Mr. Campos, for your courtesies of those owners of the staging post. Do appreciate that. Okay, we're moving on to announcements. Well, thank goodness for the rain. That was such a relief. I thought, I mean, we're still pretty bone dry. Thank you all very much. And I hope we get more, but I know we've got Fiesta also, so happy Fiesta as well. The Coffee with the Mayor is this Saturday from 9 to 11. And we do have 3 topics. Those of you that maybe are not aware of it, sometimes we just have discussions, but we actually have 3 agenda items. We have the capital improvement plan that the manager presented at the last council meeting, and we asked if she could present it to the citizens this coming Saturday. And then also Councilor Campos and Councilor Orozco asked for a discussion on our water capacity and conservation, very important topic. And then City Manager Caldera has a budget survey that she would like for us to review and get input in so that we can send it, or the citizens online can give their priorities on what they think is important for the budget funding, which I think is important. So anyway, so we'll look at that, and then we'll put it on the agenda for May 5th. Okay? So that's going to be this Saturday from 9 to 11. So we hope to see you there. And then we do have a joint meeting on April 28th, a week from tonight, at 7 p.m. with our Planning and Zoning Commission to look at, this is the City Council and the Planning and Zoning, to look at specific use tables. So we will, so again, it's open to the public if anybody would like to be there. And then April 30th at 2 p.m. at the Conference Center, the Bandera Road Groundwater Plume Superfund Site Community Advisory Group will be meeting on the status of the plume and contamination, which is under control. I want to thank John Hoyt, who is the chair of that committee and a Leon Valley citizen, for his support in keeping communication on that very important project in Leon Valley alive. And then, yes.
I just wanted to add.
Oh, yeah.
The meeting will be in the council chamber.
Oh, it will.
Instead of the conference
Oh,
center.
okay, because I looked it up before I wrote it down. Thank you for that. Okay, because, yeah, I wanted to be sure it was, okay, so it's going to be here at 2 p.m., not at the conference center. Okay, very good. And then also right before the start of the May 5th City Council meeting at 5:30, we're going to have our initial kickoff of the master plan. So that's really, really important. We'd love your input, and so I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. And the last but not least, go Spurs, go. Okay, I love the Spurs. Okay, yes. 2 o'clock? Yes, it's 2 o'clock on April, it's not on there, that's why I put it here. It's April the 30th, which is a week from this coming Thursday, 2 p.m. here, and it's about the plume. And if many of y'all know, across the street is a remediation site. So they're taking, they're trying to clean up the plume there. So that's been going on for over 20 years. Yeah. But we're making progress. So anyway, that's it. So I know, Councilor Campos, you always like to give some announcements. If you'll go next.
Thank you,
I'd appreciate it. You bet.
The first thing I want to talk about is our voting for the upcoming election. Our early voting has started. It started yesterday, April the 20th, and it runs through the 28th. And just to remind everybody that the actual election day is May the 2nd. Please make your voices heard. Please vote. I want to, over the last several weeks, I've had the opportunity to go door to door and speak to some of the citizens, and I want to just thank them. I know one's in the audience that I spoke to quite a bit, and I thank you for your time, for all the comments that you provided me. And then next, Mayor, I'd like to remind our citizens that on May the 6th, there is a blood drive here in Leon Valley. And it's generally out here in the parking lot across from City Hall. I also wanted to, some of the great things that have happened here in Leon Valley, it can't happen with a staff of Public Works They've completed or have ongoing several public work projects. They have finished paving the roads on Warsbach and Hebner, and I think on Grissom Road. They've completed or near completed some water projects and sewer projects, and it's probably the most projects that have been going on in Leon Valley in some time. So thank you all for that. David Demeline, thank you and your staff. I also would like to thank the first responders. It rained hard in this past couple of days, and our first responders were out there in the rain while we were comfy in our homes. You know, they're setting up the barricades. We only had one vehicle that went around the barricade, so.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, and then last but not least, we had a great time with you, Mayor, and Ms. Mersch and myself. We did a grand opening ribbon cutting at Jet Shine Car Wash on Grissom Road. And if you haven't driven over there off of Grissom Road, close to Timber Hill, as you're heading in that direction, it'll be on the left side. They have quite the complex for a new car wash, and they built it from the ground up. If you would have looked at that property, you said, there is no way you can develop that property, and they did a fine job in doing so. So I just wanted to point out those things. So thank you.
You're welcome. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Yes, Councilor Marsh.
I want to thank the Public Works staff, Mr. Demeline, for your staffs. I was driving around today, and those poor guys are out there in the rain trying to make sure all of the drainage is good, and they were in the park, and they all had their raincoats on their little four-wheelers, and it's like I felt so bad for them because it was cold and nasty outside, and they are out there working, and I appreciate everything that they do.
And may I just add, Mr. Demeline, the no parking on Forest Way right before or right after the stop sign fell, and I don't know why.
Okay.
It didn't look like it'd been hit. I don't know if it was like so dry and all of a sudden we got rain and it just didn't, it was so happy it fell. I don't know. I mean, you know, but it was, so I took a picture of it, so I'll send it to you. Okay, thank you. Councilor Heil.
I think we've all been out block walking, and we've got to talk to a lot of our neighbors, which I've really enjoyed. But, you know, I want to remind our neighbors, they can call any of us anytime, and we're here. We will try to help them out. We will point them in the right direction, and we will do what we can for them. That's why we're here. So our phone numbers are listed, our emails are listed. Feel free to contact any of us. And this is just a personal note. My granddaughter got her A&M ring.
Oh, yeah.
This
Congratulations.
weekend. And
You
so
love
she has
that.
90 hours, and her major is biomedical science, and her minor is entomology. So we don't know what she's going to do with that, but at least she has a ring.
There you go. Well, congratulations. I know you're so proud. Very good. Okay. Well, thank you. All right, we'll move then to agenda item number 5. City Manager Caldera, your report, please. Thank you.
Yes. So City Manager's report is online and was emailed to y'all earlier today, and it is outside for those that like a hard copy. I did get forwarded a concern later on this afternoon that somebody's been driving around in the evening for the last 2 weeks and hasn't seen but 2 patrol officers, and there's been large groups of young teenagers hanging out. So I had the police department pull the calls over the last 2 weeks. There was 251 calls over those last 2 weeks. 155 of those calls are initiated by our patrol. So that means our patrol are out, see something, and they call it in. So more than 50% of those 250 calls were initiated by our patrol officers. And so I'm not sure where that complaint came from necessarily, but I just wanted to put it on the record. Our guys are out and about. And we haven't been able to find a record of said large group call, so just so noted.
All right, very good.
We have received about 4.5 inches of rain over the last couple of days, so really excited about that. We haven't seen any, knock on wood, any loss of life and or property due to the weather. We did have one vehicle that got stranded. They were able to get it themselves with the tow truck after the water receded, but they were cited for going around the barriers. Other than that, that concludes my city manager's report.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Yes, Councilor Heil.
Don't know,
Do we have anything that says that we're not allowed to wear hats in here? Is there a matter of decorum, so you can wear any kind of hat you want? Okay,
You can dress any way that you would like.
okay, thank you.
Okay, all right. Yes, Counselor Marsh.
I know I probably should have said this before, but I too have been out block walking, and one of my observations, and I don't know how much it impacts the police or the fire department, but there are a large number of homes who have no house numbers anywhere. Not on the curb, not on the driveway, not on the house. So you're ending up counting houses to figure out what addresses they are. And I think it's time that we have another campaign to remind all of our citizens to get a visible house number put up, because it really would help our emergency responders as well as anyone else. But I've had one neighbor told me, there's never been a number on this house, and so why would I put it on here? Which didn't make any sense to me. But I know a number of years ago, we really had a focus on getting house numbers, and I think that we need to do that again.
All right, thank you very much.
I'll put
Yes.
something in the Lion Drawer and in the
Okay.
e-news to kind of encourage.
Okay.
It isn't the 1980s anymore. We don't really require, we have GPS, like we're gonna get to the house.
Mhm.
It's very rare that, but yes, it is helpful.
You know-
But for us, when we're getting there, we're gonna get there.
I usually have to go out into the street and look on it's faded. It's the number that's faded in front of the house, from 20 years ago or 40, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but yes,
Yeah.
we'll
Okay.
post some stuff
Yeah.
on it.
Okay,
There's
thank you,
also
yes.
some neighborhoods where I guess those people who paint the house numbers on your driveway or your curb have never gone to, because nobody has the painted numbers on the curb or the driveway. And I want to say it was up at, the one by Eckert. I can't think of the name now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, Pavona is wonderful because their house numbers are on the house, and so is Shadow Mist. Those are HOAs, but it's so much easier to block walk there. Linkwood, there you. Yeah,
The
Linkwood's-
only time I get this
Linkwood's-
complaint is when y'all go block walking, y'all know
I
that, right?
know. Sorry. We're all out in numbers this time, so, okay. All right, anything else? All right, thank you, Dr. Caldera. I do appreciate all your efforts. We do appreciate it, and your response to our concerns as well for the block walking has been great. All right, consent agenda 6.1 to 6.6. Is there anyone that'd like to pull anything for discussion? If not, may I have a motion and a second?
I'd like to make a motion to approve as presented.
And I will second.
All right, we have a motion by Counselor Campos and a second by Counselor Bolton to approve the consent agenda 6.1 through 6.6. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry. Thank you very much. Then we now move to the regular agenda, 7.1, and we will have presentation, discussion, and direction to staff on the 4th of July event. And we have Crystal Miranda, our Community Relations Director, here this evening to present. Crystal, welcome.
Hi, good evening, Mayor and Council.
I bet this is a lot different than the big 4th of July we've had in the past. I
Yes,
was just
ma'am.
looking at the difference, but anyway,
Yes,
I look
ma'am.
forward to your presentation this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right, so City Council is being asked to provide some direction for the upcoming 4th of July event. You take action on some options and give me a budget so that I can know what I can and cannot do or get. So Saturday, July 4th is going to be kicked off with the annual 5K run by the Leon Valley Historical Society at 7:30 at the trail. After that, we plan to move to the Veterans Park area for a flag raising ceremony. Our itinerary will probably be at 9:30 to 12:30. We'll have a welcome speech from Mayor, City Council, presentation of nation's colors and service flags from the American Legion, Pledge of Allegiance by Miss United States of 2025, Madison Hickman, reading of the Declaration of Independence from Tom Jackson, flag raising with the national anthem. Now, I'm still looking for someone to sing the national anthem, but I'm open to any suggestions. Moment of reflection for the 250 years of freedom. A performance by the Ballet Folklorico at 11:30. I did reach out to John J. Rockin' Strings, and they are available to perform, I'm sorry, I misspoke earlier. It was 11 a.m., not 11:30 for the Ballet Folklorico. And the John Jay can perform at 11:45. I have gotten 2 quotes for DJs. They are the same amount. One, you'll remember, was Marcos Villarreal that did the emceeing for our 4th of July about 3 years ago. And another is Stevie Mack, and he used to do y'all's emceeing for y'all's 4th of July back when it was at Veterans Park. And the flag raising ceremony, to be continued here. Here is more information about Tom Jackson. He will be just on the grounds for 2 hours. He won't necessarily speak for 2 hours, right? So he is open to citing sections of the Declaration of Independence or the whole thing. It's up to you guys. Then he'll be fully dressed for photo ops, meet and greets, and things like that. We do have we're proposing a face painter and a balloon artist to hand out or make free face painting. We'll have some booths similar to like the holiday tree lighting, like Canes was there last for the holiday tree lighting. There's going to give away stuff. I reached out to Canes. He's not available to have a booth, but he's willing to give out some things, so we can just give it out for him. But I'll recruit some more businesses to just pop up a tent and hand out while supplies last type of items. The interactive games, I think last time y'all approved from Amanzi for the children's to play.
Crystal, could you explain is that what we had at the last 4th of July?
What's that, ma'am?
The inflatable interactive games? Or
Yes
is that
and,
new?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So these games will be staffed by the company Amanzi Rentals.
Oh.
So city staff won't have to man them. They will be put up and set up, taken out that same day by that company. And so there are larger inflatables than what we had at the 4th of July last year and at the movies in the park. And they're just more commercial grade.
Okay, and where would those be located?
So I'm proposing, and now if y'all approve all this, then I'm going to have a team meeting with chiefs and
Okay.
everybody to get a good site plan. So that's why I need to know, like, what can we get? What do you want? So that way I can actually meet with the team so we can propose a good, safe layout,
Okay.
logistical layout.
And the ages of children that participate in the inflatable interactive games, what is that age range?
It can range. You can play. I can
I
play.
can play?
My
Oh.
my son Christian can play. Yeah, it's
Oh,
just
okay.
tossing the football, tossing a basketball, tossing like a battle axe, like a.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
You're not getting in and jumping.
Not getting
You're
in and
not
jumping. No.
And there's
No jumping.
No, it is
Okay.
the inflatables that you shoot basketballs in, or the blow up axe thing that gets stuck with Velcro, but it's not a bounce house.
No bounce
Okay.
houses. We learned that the last 4th of July. One of the 4th of July.
Well, yeah, kids hurt their ankles when they bouncy. Okay, I just had not remembered seeing those on, on our premises at the park, so that's why I was asking.
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I was looking at limiting vendors like food trucks to maybe just a couple. It's a short period of time. But here is your fiscal impact. Tom Jackson is quoting $250 for his services. The balloon artist is $85 per hour. The face painter is $100 per hour. If we were to give out about 100 or so flags of the 250 designed hand flags, $30 per 100. The inflatable interactive games, this is the quote that we received. I believe at the last council meeting, y'all said to give out ice cream, so I reached out to Original Ice Factory. We can purchase 200 ice creams for $600 to give out to the public, so they don't have to actually buy it. DJ is 400. They both quoted 400. It's just a matter of who can give me the best equipment, because I'm not going to bring a sound or stage or anything like that. Ballet Folklorico has given a quote for a donation of 150. John Marshall is requesting anywhere between 350 to 500, and then our staff projected cost depending on how big. Other things to consider. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm still looking at
I'm
you and
sorry.
not looking at my colleagues. I apologize. Yes, Councilor Heil.
Is it John Marshall or is it?
John J. Rockin' Strings.
Okay, because it said John Marshall. That it is.
John J.
Okay.
John J. Rockin'
Okay.
Strings.
Yeah, those kids were really good.
Yeah, the ones that played at Earthwise.
Right.
Yeah. Councilor Campos, go ahead.
So one question that I had
Sure.
is, So when they do these performances, folklorico, the reading of the Declaration of Independence, where would they do that? I noticed that there's not a cost for stage or sound.
Well, it's going to be on the grounds, so we will have to look at the logistics of where, by the flag, somewhere either in the parking lot, handicap area in front of the community center, somewhere that it's safe, depending on the size of that group.
And what would be the cost, an estimated cost? And I'm not going to hold you to it, but just thinking out loud for a small stage. Because I hate to have these individuals perform and no one can see them, and, you know, can you get us a cost of what it would for a smaller stage?
Did it one of the previous ones? What was it?
Don't we have a small stage in the
Yeah,
community center? We
so-
used to.
So we do have one that, so if you want, we can put them inside, and we can pull out our stage for inside the
Right.
community center, and we can put them on top of there if that's something that y'all are interested in doing. The stage outside, it's gonna be, I think it was like 10 grand.
Yeah, because the stage that I quoted y'all in one of the previous meetings was the small stage because we could no longer get the large stage for Raymond Rimkus. I just do not remember off the top of my head. I'm trying to look for the email right now.
I want to say it was close to 10, but we also don't want to bring that in. It rips up the grass. One of the reasons we didn't want to do the stage is because it rips up the park. It rips up the park. But we can do the stage inside the community center, and they can dance on the stage at the community center. We've done this before. We do it at Earthwise, and we don't pull out the stage, and everybody seems fine. But we used to do it there for when we used to do the 4th of July event there. And normally they would either do it, depending on how big the group was, underneath that little pavilion where the well is at. They would do it there. Or underneath the community center porch. We wouldn't put booths or anything there. They would just dance on the porch area. And so those are the times that we've done it in the past when we've had events there. But it may be a good idea. We can pull out our stage at the community center set up, and the parents and people can go inside the community center and watch their kids perform in there.
Okay, I was just asking, I didn't see the cost in there,
So-
so I was just curious where.
The quote that I had provided last time was for stage and some sound, and it was $13,000.
Okay, that's fine.
Other items to consider for a fiscal impact is some swag. We hand out anything that you want to give out for free, goodie bags. We usually do that for holiday tree lighting. We put some candy, a little trinket in there and give them out while they last. And then a security concern would be the weighted barriers. So we would need those large barriers that kind of, that went down the slide for the holiday tree lighting. Those orange and yellow weighted with water barriers, they would need to be placed where cars are possible to go through the crowd. Since we don't have any barriers at Public Works like that, we would need to purchase some or rent some.
Okay. All right, anything else? Yes, Counselor Mersch, and then I have a few things.
I think it would work without the stage. I just think that we need to separate the children's inflatable activities and stuff farther away, because that was kind of an issue at the tree lighting. It's kind of like nobody was paying attention to whoever was singing or, you know, whatever, because they were too busy yelling at the games and, you know, the
Sure.
slide. So as long as there's enough physical distance where the noise of the games wouldn't interfere with watching the performance. I'm a little bit afraid of taking it inside because, again, you have timing issues where somebody says, oh, I didn't know it was going on inside, and,
Sure.
you know, you want, I think it'd be better if we had everything outside. And I really like the idea of the flags. I think that one's
Well,
an important one.
Was that a flag just to give to people as they come in, or were we going to decorate?
So
That's
yeah,
what
I
I was,
proposed that
you
option
know.
last time too, in the last slides, like if we wanted to do 250 standstill
Yeah.
slides at the park or up and down Bandera. I even got with Mr. Demeline about maybe putting it on the monuments as you come in.
Yeah.
You know, just those 3 or 4 pillars, monument pillars that we have, just to be. to
I would
celebrate.
like to see some kind of decoration because it is pretty festive, so that's what I would like. But
But
I'm
if we
not
put
sure
the
about my
flags
colleagues.
at the Veterans Park, then we'd have to pick them up for the event, and it's just the whole thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't need to know locations if you wanted to do something like that.
I like your idea about the monuments, for
Mhm.
sure. I think we have don't we have a wreath that we put out? Didn't Vicky?
For Christmas we do, but do
Oh,
we
but
have a
not
4th
for
of July?
4th of July? I
We do
thought
the bunting, the bunting.
Oh, the bunting, that's right. I knew we did something decorative, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Yes, Counselor Heil.
I know I sound like a Grinch, but do we need to spend $3,300 on games for the kids? That's a lot.
That's up to you guys. I mean, y'all said y'all wanted something for the kids, games, bubbles, I don't know. You tell me what you want to spend.
It just seems like a lot of money.
Well,
For somebody that hosts kids' birthday parties, it's not.
Okay.
yeah. Well, the other thing is that I was just thinking about how do you attract people, to want to come. And one thing we've learned in Earthwise after all these years is we have grand prize, grand raffle at the end. And so that's what I was thinking. Maybe we should, encourage people to come and put their name in and you win a $500 gift card from HEB or something. I don't know. But you have to be present to win.
Yeah.
That's always the key.
So I like
I
to
don't know.
budget for that. If you wanted to do raffles, let's put a number on it, because I can ask HEB, but we're so short of a window
Yeah,
for them to
we are.
grant us that, that I'd hate to depend on it and it not come through.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. What do y'all think? I was just trying to think of how we can get people to come. Yes, Counselor Marsh.
I like the idea of having, and I don't think we need to have 1 million
No,
prizes, but just,
A
I mean,
grand
even a
prize.
$500 gift card from HEB is gonna draw people.
Mhm.
But I also would like to see like a pre-4th of July encouragement, or maybe a giveaway of the flags to encourage people to put flags in front of their houses. And whether you provide the flag or not, but just to kind of have a campaign where we have some publicity that says, celebrate the 4th and, line your street with flags, or everybody put a flag by their mailbox, or whatever you want to call it. But getting it the day of the thing, I think, is a little bit late for the
Okay.
impression. And I also liked it when we had some flags on the bridge there on Evers. Oh, okay.
Flags, and they put them out themselves.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? So, does anybody agree with Betty about the cost of the inflatables? Is that? And I was really surprised at John Marshall charging that much because they came for free for Earthwise.
I know.
Oh,
It's
no,
John
I'm
Jay.
sorry,
John
it
Jay.
says John Marshall, but I'm saying John Jay,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, anyway,
That's
I was just surprised
my
at that.
mistake.
And I understand it's during the summer, so she has to bring the kids back, I understand that. So, I don't know.
It's okay.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't have
I
children.
think it's a lot
so
of
I-
money too, but, it's not as much as the 200,000 that had been
So
costing us.
so with that 5,200, I'm gonna go ahead and add an additional 700 for, 500 for an HEB gift card, and like maybe some smaller gift cards.
We all
So
think.
700, okay?
Well,
No, go right ahead, Mr.
yeah,
Crapples.
I would say why not bump it up to 1,500 and possibly buy some flags that we can put on the bridge.
And that we could reuse every year.
Right.
You're not gonna be able to reuse them.
The weather, right? If it rains or.
Like, I'm just letting you know, with those little, I mean, we were able to save a couple of them, but, because they lined all of Evers, they lined by the park, but it was a citizen initiative, and
It was
people
during
that-
COVID.
It was during COVID, and so they did it, I mean,
That
they
was when
bought
we-
the flags, they put the flags out, it was community-driven. But we can certainly buy 1,500, we can certainly buy flags, if that's
Or
something you
some
wanna-
other, whatever you think, but I think the 700, I think it's too small.
Okay.
And maybe anything that's, hopefully that 1,500 then can help you with the swag, stuff.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if 500 of it is going, so I was just saying 500 for one big raffle, and then like 200 for, like smaller prizes, so that's 700. So you, I mean, I don't know what
Well,
kind of,
I don't know if one grand prize, or you have five
I agree.
$100.
I agree.
I think right now, I think people would go for a $100 gift card. And if you give out five, it'll encourage people to.
More people will come. I agree.
That's my suggestion, and.
Smaller
but-
and give out more.
Yeah, so, and
Okay.
increase it, I would say, at
1,500?
least 1,500, but I defer to my colleagues.
All right, Counselor Marsh.
I'd be more in favor of spending money to buy the flags than even having swag or goodie bags. I mean,
Okay.
Can't see what I'm writing. Getting old.
so we can.
Anyone
we can
agree with
purchase
that?
flags.
Spend more money on the flags rather than the swag and the goodie bags? I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, nobody,
Well, we had talked about getting those little constitutional books
Oh,
and
yeah,
all of
yeah,
that
yeah,
stuff
yeah, I
too.
forgot
So
about
like
that.
that's kind of looped into this swag stuff. So
uh-huh.
I mean, it's just a matter of what you want and what you want to spend. And so we can do the little flags that go on the ground. We can even buy like, 1,000 of them, and you can come pick one up at the library or city hall, and we can do a campaign to get them out. When we've done things like that in the past, they don't end up out. And so, if you want them out to show pride, then it's best that you buy them, and then I just have to allocate staff to put them out. But again, that's why it was done, like when they wanted to do it, it was community driven. They went out, they put them out. But we can do a flag giveaway. I've just learned in the past when we've done that, it never really ends up out in people's yards or lawns. Like they take them home and they, stay on a counter or whatever. So it's up to y'all. We can do a community contest, dedicate one of the gift cards to decorate, and you can win an HEB gift card. And so maybe we get more people participate in decorating 4th of July-ish. We'll take nominations for that or something.
Yeah.
On Amazon, you can get 500 of the little flags for $85.
Yeah.
And I have no problem walking down the street and putting them in people's yards. I mean, I would. I have no problem doing that. We do it for elections. I could do it for flags.
Okay. All right. Yes, Counselor Marsh, thank you.
well, I think maybe we could have a street contest or something. Because then you get your neighborhoods to work together, or you get a neighborhood watch or a chairman or something. I mean, I'd definitely put flags out in my neighborhood and, try and see if we could get more people to participate.
Right.
So how many flags would you like us to purchase? 2,000, 10,000?
Oh,
No.
not 10,000, no.
I mean, I just need a range.
200, 300.
Oh, did you say 200? Oh, I think
Flags.
more than that.
More than
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
Yeah.
Those are the little ones?
Yeah, they are little.
Okay.
Little handheld ones.
Okay, so 500?
But if you want like one on like in your yard, type of decorative, I don't know.
I'd say 500 or, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have a good sense of numbers,
we haven't- yeah, we haven't done
I
this
know
before.
y'all.
I want to say that the reason I said 2,000 was I want to say that that's what they bought. Like when you
Yeah.
saw all the flags
We did.
along Evers Road, I think it was close to 2,000 flags. And
Were those
again,
the small ones too?
They were
They were a little
small.
bit bigger.
They were a little bit bigger, but they
Yeah.
were small. But I mean, giving one out to a resident, I mean, to stick in front of the, I mean, it's not going to make the impact I think that you.
Yeah.
The reason that made an impact is because it lined the
Yeah.
street.
And we could do that. We could line we could
So-
line Evers for sure.
But, and so that's why, I mean, I didn't just say 2,000, I think that's what I don't remember. I mean, it was, again, it wasn't a city initiative. I just remember them coming saying, we put out, I want to say it was like 2,000 or 3,000
It was a lot.
flags. It was.
It was a lot. But we weren't doing anything that year, remember?
Right, we
We were all having to socially distance and stuff like that. So, okay, what do you think, 2,000?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think? and then that'll motivate us to get them out. What do
Yeah.
you think? Okay, all right.
And then if we can still pick up some for our neighborhoods, or, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
that
we can
kind
do we can buy the flags in line, like the bridge at Evers, and then whatever's remaining, if y'all wanna hand them out, like, y'all normally hand out goodie bags, so instead of handing out goodie bags, y'all can hand out flags.
Flags, okay.
Okay. We could have a work day to plug in the
Yeah.
flags, you know? We could
Okay,
do
so,
that.
we have 5,200 in the budget, we're gonna increase it to 1,500 to get more.
Well, plus everything else, all the entertainment, right? Because 52 is just our staff
Oh,
services.
just the staff, I'm sorry, what was the total on that,
The-
Crystal?
Well, I didn't put a total because I didn't want to presume that we were going to get everything or not, so. If you say yes to all these, then we'll add it all up, and I still need weighted barriers, so I have to get a cost on that, I don't have that cost. And then, because I got to see what chief recommends how many I need. We haven't had our logistical meeting yet, because we don't know what it's going to look like yet. And then goodie bags and swag. So, if you just say yes, and then tell me not to exceed a certain amount for some things, then I can come back May and give y'all,
May 5th?
yeah,
We-
better projections.
Okay. Yes, Counselor Marsh.
How fast can a face painter paint, and how many kids are gonna get covered for this $100 an hour? To me,
Yeah,
I mean, I know kids like face painting, but to me, that sounds like it's a slow process, and we're not really gonna impact that many kids.
So when we used to do it, way back when, we would limit it to very few options. So they could
Mhm.
only get a flag, a butterfly, and so they could normally paint those within 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So we would tell the face painter, pick 5, patriotic that you can do fairly quickly, so we don't have a long line. We're not doing the whole face
Lions
with,
and tigers
no,
and bears, oh
they're
my,
there
yeah.
for 4 hours. They can only pick between 4 items. Same thing, we used to have like the little tattoo booth. We do it at like the library. We can come and get like fast, turn around with the kids, but we normally pick very, I don't want to say generic, but simple
Okay.
designs, and then the children, and so they're not standing there trying to spend an hour trying to even pick what they want. They have 4 options.
Okay.
Okay.
Same thing with the balloon guy though, right,
you-
too? So it's like a couple options, make something real
But we
quick
think we
and
need
go.
them there for the whole time, 4 hours?
Probably gonna have a line most of the time. I had a balloon artist at my daughter's quince, and he lasted the whole time.
Oh, you did? Okay, just wanted to
At a
verify that.
quinceañera, you had a
Yeah.
balloon artist? Aren't they older than that?
You'd be surprised,
They
you'd be
love it,
surprised. They want
yeah.
flowers and crowns.
Okay, well, if you would come back with a more definite figure, would that be
And so
appropriate
nothing,
for May 5th?
yeah, and nothing, y'all don't want to remove anything from this list?
Keep all this, remove anything, we'll add something, what do you want?
Inflatable interactive games, is that multiple or is it just
That's all
one?
those right there, that is this whole combo set and the battle axe.
Yeah, well, I don't know,
Can
maybe we could
can
reduce
cut
that.
down a
Yeah,
little
cut
bit?
that.
This
maybe-
is 1, this is 2, so do you want this one only?
I have
I
no
like the
idea.
one with the
I'm gonna
more
let you,
choices
what do you
than
think?
battle
But I think we can cut down on it, I think.
I just didn't want a long line, right, of kids, long lines, because it's only one thing to do.
Mhm. Well,
I guess
I
I
have
don't
no,
understand
no,
how-
I
so
have
it
no
looks like there's
experience with
4
that.
games there,
Yes, but they're
Right.
tied together.
Mhm.
So like each 2 are 1 inflatable, each 2 are 1 inflatable. And then like one's a basketball, one's a football that you throw in a hole. The other battle axe is by itself.
This
It's
is
You
its
say
own.
battle axe?
Has 4
Yeah, it's the axe that you throw at the target, but the axe is like Velcro, and so you throw it at the target
Oh.
and it sticks.
Hmm.
So would
Well,
you have
why don't
4
we just do the
lines?
basketball and the
Uh-huh,
other
you
one?
would. Mhm.
And not
4
the
lines
battle
at this
axe?
one and only 1 at this one, but
So I'm
this
in
one
fa-
is-
I'm in favor of the 4-line one
Four-line
and
one.
not the.
And not the
single-
battle axe?
Not
Okay.
the battle
I
axe.
think so.
Okay. All right. All right, so we'll bring that back to you at the next
Okay,
meeting.
that'd
We
be
just
great.
kind of need to
Thank
seal
you.
this up so we can order this stuff.
All right,
Cutting
appreciate
it
it.
very close.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
All right, all right. Well, 4th of July is always a topic of great discussion, so thank you. All right, really appreciate it. We'll try to see how this comes out this year. Agenda item 7.2, presentation, discussion, and possible action on a request for a variance to the Leon Valley Code of Ordinances, Chapter 13, Tree Preservation Article 13.02, Tree Preservation Ordinance, Division 3, Requirements and Restrictions, Sections 13.02.074, Preservation Requirements, Section 13.02.075, Removal, Replacement, or Relocation of Medium and Large Trees, Section 13.02.076, Replacement Trees Required, Penalties, Subsection A and Subsection B, Section 13.02.80, Heritage Tree Removal Prohibited, Penalties, to allow the removal of 6 heritage trees, 3 medium trees, and 6 large trees, and is seeking to pay a reduced fee in lieu from $18,800 to $3,000 in tree mitigation fees located at 5307 Wurzbach Road, CB 442, 9A, Block 4, Lot 30, Rolling Wood Ridge subdivision on approximately 2.75 acres of land. And we have Michael Gallardo, our Planning and Zoning Director, back this evening to present. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
All right, so the question before you is whether or not to grant a tree mitigation variance to allow removal of the 6 heritage trees that you mentioned, 3 medium and 6 large trees, and allow to pay a reduced fee in lieu from $18,800 to $3,000 in tree mitigation fees. Again, this is located at 5307 Wurzbach Road. It's actually going to be the Romani Learning Center. So your options are to grant the variance, deny, or other. Declaration, of course, is at council's discretion. Tree removal will accommodate orderly development of the area. All right, the tree mitigation plan proposes to maintain about 48% of the existing trees, which is about 660 caliper inches of trees. The tree mitigation fees in the amount of $18,800 would be due to the city. Of course, the applicant is requesting a reduction in fees from reducing it, doing away with $15,800 and only paying $3,000 in fee in lieu. So if you look at this chart, we're looking at the long list on the right-hand side, right? So it's kind of going to be, these are going to be the trees that are going to be removed. If you look at the bottom 6, those are your heritage trees. Obviously, the applicant is reduced or having to do away with that because it impacts his footprint or his project, correct? So we look at the box on the left-hand side, we're removing about 340 inches, right? But he's going to turn back and replace 152, and from that, what you have left over is going to be your 188 times 100, which gives you your 18,800. Okay? So again, he's requesting that to be driven down to 3,000. So we look, out of courtesy or doing our due diligence, if we look at what he's going to actually save, well, he's going to save 320 inches. So again, you look at the box on the left-hand side, he's going to replace that with 152 inches, and he gave us a breakdown of what kind of trees he's going to utilize to replace, right? So in all fairness, you do have a long list of trees that are being removed, but you also have a long list of trees that are being saved. So this is the aerial view. If you kind of look at the entrance from Blackberry Drive, you'll see that it's kind of narrow, so there are trees in the middle of everything. If you look at the overall frontage on Wurzbach Road, you're going to see that there's some gaps of land there, but I'm going to kind of try to unpack it for you all so that you kind of get a better understanding of, what the applicant is faced with. So let's look at the site plan. So again, I'm going to break it in half. So we're going to look at the parking lot first on the left-hand side. So there's a parking lot there, and then on the right-hand side, the front Wurzbach Road, that's where you're going to have your mosque and learning center. So the first thing we're going to look at on our tree survey is the parking lot side. So this is, if you zoom into the parking lot, this is where his tree survey demonstrates that there's a lot of trees. So coming in through Blackberry Drive, if you kind of want to go down the middle of that, you're going to see that there's a lot of trees there. So that kind of impacts the project significantly. So then we'll look at the right side. This is fronting Wurzbach Road. You're going to look at your tree survey there, and you look at the bottom portion, I believe, is a learning center, and then the building on top is going to be the mosque. So you'll see that there's a significant impact of trees there. And in fact, when I went out to the property, one of the things that's a little bit deceiving is when you look at his list and of all the trees that he needs to remove, the reason for that is because they're kind of in clusters. So it doesn't do you any good to remove just one tree when everything else is still sitting in that cluster. So just, as far as, doing our due diligence, I kind of went out there and I kind of was trying to propose to y'all what the applicant's being faced with. So again, it's kind of difficult to just remove one or two trees when they're all clustered like that. So this I'll be referred to the big six, right? These are your heritage trees. Anything 24 inches and above, are considered heritage trees. So if you look at that, these are all on the side of where the mosque and the learning center will be built. And that's in addition to other trees that he's having to remove. So code requirements, city code mandates that for each medium tree removed, you replace it with a 6-inch tree or more in diameter. Be planted for each large tree. Every time you remove a large tree, you're going to plant it with 8-inch or more in diameter. City code prohibits the removal of any heritage trees. Case in point, that's why we're here requesting a variance, right? Per code, up to 25% required trees may be mitigated rather than preserved unless insufficient land area exists to plant the required total caliper width of replacement trees. Then cash in lieu of amount may be increased up to 50% of the required replacement tree amount. So as we mentioned earlier, he's going to keep 48% of the trees that are there, or let's refer to them as the ones being saved, right? So city code states variances may be granted after consideration and approval of the city council, where a literal enforcement of the provision of the article will result in unnecessary hardship. No variance may be granted unless such variance will not be contrary to the public interest. Such variance will be in harmony with the spirit and purposes of the article. The variance sought is due to unique circumstances existing on the property, and the unique circumstances were not created by the owner of the property and are not merely financial. The variance will not substantially weaken the general purposes of the tree preservation ordinance. So this is a preliminary look at what the tree and landscaping design will look like. So one of the things that, I wanted to point out is that he's going to try to develop the property with a tree line facing Wurzbach. So the bottom portion of your screen is where that tree line is on Wurzbach, and I'll have a better slide on that shortly after this. But if you look on the left-hand side behind where the learning center is, he's also going to have a tree line going that way. If you look at, and I'll point to it on this side. If you look at this area here where your parking lot is at, all the way to Blackberry Drive, he's going to put a buffer there of trees to separate his business from the existing properties. So again, that's a preliminary look of what he's trying to do. He's going to get creative also with the landscaping on parts of the parking lot. Here's a better look at what you're looking at on Wurzbach Road. So again, he's kind of creating a tree line there as a buffer mechanism.
So can I ask you, can I ask you that he's going to be bringing in mature trees and replanting them?
So based on code, he's going to, like replacing, for example, the large and medium ones. Yes, to your point, he is going to be bringing trees, but they can range from
those are big, mature trees.
Well, they can range from like 6 inches to 8 inches. So as long as they're 4 feet high or more. So he doesn't necessarily have to bring like giant sized trees like that.
That's what he's showing us though.
Right. So once they've been planted and some time goes by, we're expecting them to grow.
Okay, so that's in the future. This is not
Correct.
current. Okay.
Correct. And then code's also going to dictate that, he has to maintain them for those 2 years and to ensure that they don't die.
Okay. Thank you.
So Tree mitigation fees in the amount of $3,000 will be paid to the tree mitigation fund. The fund is restricted to supporting additional tree planting at approved sites in Leon Valley. The granting of this variance would facilitate the development of a mosque and learning center, which may increase sales tax revenue as parishioners shop in Leon Valley. The applicant is here if you want him to field some questions, but I'm here to field some questions as well.
I had a question for you, Mr. Gallardo. I mean, we've had a lot of tree variances come forth to the council, and our code says the code prohibits the removal of any heritage tree regardless of the species. And this is just kind of a procedural thing. When a developer comes to your planning and development, they said, hey, I want to do this, this, and this on this vacant property. Do we give him the tree ordinance right then and there ahead of time so they know that they can't remove any heritage trees? Because the way I look at it is, well, that if the developer knows that, then wouldn't they design it around, or maybe just take out one or two? Do you know what I'm saying? So tell me about the process, because I'm curious.
So typically, and I wasn't at the beginning of this one, but
That's
typically
true.
what we do is, we'll look at the layout,
Uh-huh.
right? And so he'll go through the process of whether it's rezoning, creating the PDD,
Mhm.
whatever it may be.
Mhm.
So one of the first steps, though, when they do that, or when a PDD is approved, is that they submit a tree mitigation plan, and sometimes that's even through the planning process. So oftentimes the owner is aware.
Mhm.
I'm not, the owner is here, but oftentimes they are aware of the challenges that they're going to be faced with, when it comes to tree mitigations and so forth. But definitely before any construction permits are issued, they'll submit their construction plan, and they'll submit a tree removal plan. And that's where we kind of backtrack and say, okay, now we're working towards the tree mitigation process.
Okay, so they are aware of our code at the beginning. Okay.
Oftentimes. It depends,
Yeah,
like,
'cause
who he
I can't
works
tell you
with.
how many heritage trees we've killed over the last jillion of years, but
And
anyway,
it
okay.
just depends on, like, the architects and the engineers that he works with.
Okay, all right, thank you. Counselor Mersch, I know.
I'm just gonna give my opinion here. I understand the challenges of designing multiple buildings on a lot and not impacting any of the trees that are there, and I am disappointed that there's as many heritage trees. I do think that one in the middle between the Learning Center and the mosque could very well be saved, that one right.
The one on the lower right?
The one right between the two buildings.
Oh, in the middle,
In
yeah.
the middle.
Well, how about the
I mean,
lower right?
And then the one on the lower right, well, that's kind of in the
It's in the
driveway.
driveway, but they could move the
But
driveway
the other
over.
one, but I understand that it may be necessary to cut down these trees, even though we give them every opportunity to know that we really want to save all the trees. But I don't understand why they're asking for a reduced fee from $18,800 to $3,000. To me, that is excessive, and it makes our whole tree mitigation process meaningless. If anybody can cut down whatever they want and then not even pay what is already set in the ordinance to pay so that we can plant other trees in other locations around the city, I don't understand that, so.
So,
Thank you. Yes,
So
Counselor.
I just want to clarify.
City Manager.
Yes, so I just want to clarify. We also have parking regulations, driveway distance regulations, the fire truck has to fit there. So there's other codes he's also trying to adhere to when doing the project.
Okay.
And so I just want to make sure that you understand, like, that tree right there that's in the parking lot may be because he's trying to make the number of parkings fit for the project. And so it's same thing with, you can't just move a driveway just over 5 feet. It doesn't work that way. But I will say, it's been my argument as your city manager from the very beginning to stop reducing the fee in lieu of. Like, you have a tree mitigation fund. I've not ever really been in, y'all have done it though. So I want to make that very clear, that y'all have set the precedent to, not maybe y'all in particular, but this council has reduced fees for developers in the past. And so I've always sat in the seat and have always said, you have these fees for a reason, unless there's some sort of extenuating circumstance, and you can hear from the applicant on that, I don't, then why have them set that way? Like, then change your ordinance to reduce your fees if you don't want the developer or the applicant to pay those fees. But he may have an extenuating circumstance. Maybe they're a nonprofit, maybe this is a church. I don't know all of those hardships that he may be facing, and so that may be a question that he can answer for you. But from my perspective, when we deal with fees in lieu of, if you're gonna give that variance, in my opinion, this would be like the 5th variance in the last 4 years or 3 years, you may wanna go back and look at your ordinance and start reducing those fees if you're gonna continuously give those types of variances.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Campos.
So my question would be, if we do not grant the variance, okay, which for me, that's where I'm leaning. Maybe you need to reconfigure the way this is laid out. The property, the distance between the one building to the other. You know, I think that's where I'm at, where I would not want to give a variance on this. And I am not in support of a reduced fee. Everybody in this dais today was not part of a reduction. And when they did, I believe their rationale, as I viewed it, was they were trying to generate tax revenue, okay? This is, if I'm understanding this correctly, this property is not going to generate any property tax revenue for the city of Leon Valley. And so I think that maybe the applicant should reconsider the way he's drawn out the buildings and where they're laid out on the property. And so that's where I'm at.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyone else on the dais? Okay. All right, so let's hear from the developer. Good evening and welcome. If you'll please state your name for the record, we'd appreciate it.
Thank you. My name is Shamim Akhtar, and I am representing the Remani Learning Center. And I appreciate the comments I heard. And when we were developing this project and working with the landscape architect, he at that time we didn't realize that it was that severe, but he did recognize, and he did tell us that there are heritage trees over here. So as we worked with the project and developed this, we try to relocate buildings every which way possible. But anytime we move something, there's not a lot of space over here. The distances between the fence line and the buildings is limited because of the right-of-ways and the parking distances we have to have between reversing and so forth. So this is, and also Wurzbach Road and this property, it's right by the Exchange Parkway, I believe. So the road and the property, the road is like this and the property goes like this, it goes higher. So the entrance ramp, we cannot build the entrance ramp any further than where we did, because otherwise then it becomes a variation of grades to enter the property. So we really understand, and we had really looked at this thing many times and try to create a situation where we can save some trees. But we actually couldn't do it. So for us to build this project, most of our attendees in this center live in Leon Valley. Actually, that is why we have our temporary services right now, which is just on the other side of Bandera Road, just on Jackwood Street, which is basically why we are there, is because most of our attendees lives in Leon Valley. They pay taxes and they have houses in those areas. So regarding the couple of trees which we also recognize that could have been addressed, but they are too close to the one because of the parking. the lower one, the outside of the building, the lower one, which we could address. We have actually talked about it. That may be the only one which we could work around to divert some traffic. But if we do that, then we may run into this fire, the distances for the fire requirements and so forth. The one tree between the buildings actually is large and is too close to the building, and it will have a severe impact on the foundations of the building. So we could not remove. We had to remove that. So we are a non-profit organization. We are really not a business. Understand that the property right next to it, which we were also trying to acquire, but we were not able to acquire, was given a variance, and so this is something which is not by choice. We try to accommodate, and we were very aware of the variances requirements. So it's not for financial gain. It's not for just to slap buildings on the slot and say this looks good. We have worked through it. We have gone through the processes. We have worked with the landscaping architect, and basically we are limited because of the land and the requirements.
Okay. Yes, Councilor Mersch.
So am I correct in understanding that there's really kind of two variances? One is whether he's given permission to cut down the heritage trees, and the second one is the pay in lieu of variance from what he would be required based on the ordinance fees versus what he's offering, right? So
correct.
I appreciate your explanation and your thoughtfulness in trying to reconfigure your buildings or whatever on the lot to save some of the trees, but that still doesn't explain why you're not prepared to pay the required fee in lieu of for the trees that you did have to cut down.
Well, it's not that we just non-profit, and that was a little surprise for us. We are willing to work on that number. It would be nice that we can have some break in that. We suggested $3,000 by our group, and what we can afford to move forward. But if that's we would request that we need to, if you can give us some adjustment, some variance over there in the differential of cost.
Okay. Yes, we have a comment from one of our citizens. We do take comments from our chambers. Yes, Ms. Jason.
Tina
Yes.
Jason, Forest Ridge. I'm just curious, on these pictures that you're depicting all the heritage trees, and you had 6 at the bottom on the presentation, they were oak. What are the other trees, the ones that we are concerned with? Where is the location of the oak trees? Because my argument has always been, when this comes up, to me, a heritage tree is a good tree, not just in size, but in the type of tree it is. Sycamores, branches, they grow big, they grow fast, they break in the wind. Hackberry, they get big, that's a heritage tree. I'm more concerned with the quality of the good trees. Where exactly on this diagram, in the diagrams, are the oak trees? These are?
Yeah. Yeah. If you could just raise your hand, please, Ms. Bolton, I'd appreciate that, so you could be recognized.
I could not see
Thank
that.
you.
It was too faded.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
thank
thought
you.
they were all oak trees as well. With all due respect, sir, how much is your project are you putting into the building? It looks, amazing. This mosque and the learning center, so I'm just kind of wondering how much you're putting in versus the $18,000 that you'd have to pay for the mitigation. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm just curious.
It's when it comes to projects like these and financials and projects size sometimes is always an issue. So we are nowhere close to have the amount of money in our coffers, to build this project right away. And so really, this project, if we build it all at one time, is going to be approximately $4 to $5 million.
$4 to $5 million. Okay,
Right.
thank you.
So 18,000 may not seem a large number, but to us, where we are in a beginning stage and we basically haven't even started the fundraising, is 18,000 is a lot of money.
Okay, all right, thank you.
That's why the request.
All right. Okay, anything else for the council to consider? Okay, we are able to vote on this tonight. It is not a first read, it's a request for a variance, and I don't know what the pleasure of the council is. Yes,
Mayor,
Councilor
I'd like
Campos.
to make a motion to deny the variance request and also to deny the reduced fee in lieu of from 18.8 to 3,000.
Okay. All right, yes. Did you have something to add?
Well, no,
City
before
Manager?
you vote, I think we need to go into executive session and talk to the city attorney.
Okay, I'm not sure on what issue, but, all right. All right, so it's 7:59. And as per the city manager's request we will move into executive session to discuss 7.2.
It's rare that they.
I was slow in thinking about it and I ran out.
They have a little bit of grass. Artificial turf, yeah. It can hold up.
All at once.
All right, we are back from executive session at 8:16. Or reconvene from executive session at 8:16. And we have a motion or a direction.
Mayor?
Yes.
I would like to withdraw my, my denial on the variance of this property as mentioned in this 7.2 item, as well as the denial of the reduction in lieu of fee.
Okay. And I need who
I will
seconded
also
it?
deny,
Yes,
I
okay.
will retract my.
Withdraw your second?
Yes, I withdraw
Okay.
my second.
All right, and then what is your motion?
Mayor, I want to revise my motion to table this item and allow the city manager to discuss this issue with the applicant
Okay,
and bring it back at a later date, okay?
all right. And do I have a second for that?
I second the motion to table this
All
item.
right, so we have a motion by Counselor Campos and a second by Counselor Mersch to table this item so the staff can meet with the applicant. All those in, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So moving then to, we've already done 7.3. We'll move to 7.4. Presentation and discussion on an ordinance authorizing a budget adjustment for the fiscal year 25-26 to the general fund budget in the amount of $49,950 to provide funding for the safety camera program. This is our first read, so we will not have a vote, but we will decide to put it on, where we want to put it on the next meeting, May 5th, probably in the consent agenda. So Chief, welcome back. We had the discussion earlier on,
Yes, we did.
our agreement, and now this is the funding part of it. Thank you.
This is the funding,
Mhm.
so.
Yes, sir.
This is an ordinance authorizing the acceptance of and making a budget adjustment so we can pay for the program that we've been discussing for a little bit now. So, of course, we recommend that we accept the budget adjustment so we can accept the grant that we applied for and with the conditions that was put into the application. We will be using the funds for the camera system. Approval of this ordinance aligns with the city's goals and objectives, and again, CPAC, City Council, has heard me discuss the reasons for the cameras and what they will do for us. They will help us out tremendously. State grant is $49,950, and that is what the city will be receiving.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, so what's the pleasure of the council for the next, I think we're all are pretty familiar with this agenda item. Where
I'd
would
like-
y'all like to place it in the next?
With my colleagues' consent, I'd like to put it on the consent agenda for the next meeting.
Very good. Okay, yes. All right, we don't, yeah. Okay, so we'll
Thank you,
place
Mayor
it in the, for the second. Okay, very good. 5/5/26 consent. Very good. Thank you. All right, moving then to regular agenda 7.5, presentation and discussion of an ordinance authorizing a budget adjustment from the Enterprise Fund Reserve in the amount of $612,334 for the Castle Estates Neighborhood Sewer Main Community Development Block Grant, CDBG project, and awarding the lowest qualified bid in the amount of $454,412 with a $68,162 for contingency, which is 15%, and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Sovrix LLC for the Castle Estates Neighborhood Sewer Main CDBG project. And again, this is our first read, and I have David Demeline here this evening to present. Welcome, David.
Thank you, Mayor
Good
and
to see you.
Council.
Uh-huh.
So this item is a request for a budget adjustment for the Castle Estates Sewer Main CDBG project, and this will be to construct a new sewer main along the street of Locker Lane. And so the request for the budget adjustment is in the amount of $612,334, and also to award a bid in the amount of $454,412 with contingency and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Sovrix. So the scope of work would be to construct approximately 1,500 feet of sewer main It would include new manholes, of course, new sanitary sewer laterals, two-way cleanouts, and allow for bypass pumping and asphalt repairs. And this would service potentially 10 homes along Locker Lane. So the homes are currently on septic. Many of the homes were, of course, built in the 1970s. We have had a couple of residents express an interest to connect with the city's sanitary sewer system. So that will really help with environmental quality as well. And we did receive a grant. This was our application from last year. So we are receiving a grant from Bexar County CDBG in the amount of $590,423. So we advertised for bids, had a bid opening March 24th, and we had 4 companies that responded. They range from $636,704. The low bid was from Sovrix for $454,412. Reviewed all of the bids, and we have worked with Sovrix before on a couple of other projects, and so the recommendation is to award the contract to Sovrix. Under fiscal impact, as I mentioned, the project total is $612,334. That includes construction, contingency, and project engineering. We're requesting the adjustment for the total amount and then subtracting the CDBG grant amount. The city portion is $21,911. That is for the request, and we have a fund balance of a little over $3.5 million currently.
Good, okay. David, okay, go ahead.
So that, we do recommend approval of the ordinance, Mayor and Council, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may
Okay.
have.
I had a question. So do the people along, is it Locker Lane, right?
Yes.
They have a choice to hook in. We're going to go ahead and put the main sewer line in. This is what the CD, but they have a choice to hook in or stay on their sewer, their septic?
Yes. Basically, we're going to build the sewer main, so it's going to be there as an option.
Okay.
A lot of times on these older systems, they fail, and so the cost of replacing one of those could be it's hard to say, 15,000 or more.
That's their septic tank is failing.
To replace a septic system.
Okay, now
So
how much?
this would be an option for them to
how much
connect.
does it cost to hook in? That's what.
Well, there are.
And it's gonna be borne on the homeowner, right? So how much is
There is
that?
a cost of constructing the sewer line from the house to
the main.
city's main. So there's a cost with that. And then there's also a sewer impact fee that they would have to pay as well.
And do you know what approximately that amount is?
It's hard to say.
Okay. Just an average?
It's through, yeah, I mean, you're probably, rough ballpark, it really depends, but to construct a line, you might be looking at somewhere around 8,000 to 10,000, I would imagine.
That's what I was wondering. And then the sewer impact fee, what is that?
The sewer impact fee is basically calculated by the San Antonio water system.
Oh,
But I think on the average, our older sewer impact fee was in the $1,500 range.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I don't have an exact
I understand. I'm
amount for
I'm just
but-
wondering the impact for the citizens
and
that
we-
live on Locker Lane.
Just to provide you some context. So when I talked to Melinda, when we were looking at this project early on in the beginning of the year, we were estimating about 15,000 for them to hook up. And so we did go to Bear County, asked if Bear County would cover the cost for them
Mhm.
to hook up. They said they couldn't do that. We can't give money to individual homeowners for them to hook up. But what happened a lot with the people that had septic that we've seen moved onto our sewer is eventually their septics do fail. And so they have to choose either to get on
Mhm.
our sewer or replace their
Mhm.
septic. And 9 times out of 10, we're either the cheapest option or we're a little bit more, but then the cost of their property goes up because they've now hooked up into the
Mhm.
system.
Mhm.
And so eventually, over time, all those 10 homes will eventually, I think, be
Okay.
on your,
All
on your
right.
system.
Yeah, I just, if somebody wants to know how much is it gonna cost me, because that was my concern.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, but it's the best option in the long run, is what I'm hearing, so. Okay, yes, Counselor Campos.
David, thank you for, and Crystal,
Mhm.
Dr. Caldera, thank you for this CDBG grant. This is
Mhm.
quite a windfall. This is a win-win for the city to provide this sewer line to the residents that have the septic on this, along Locker Lane. When I moved into my current home some 34 years ago, I had two septic systems.
Really?
Yes, two.
Oh my
One on
gosh.
each side of the yard. And I think and it was at the time, I don't know about now, but the owner was required, the prior owner was required to hook up the new resident to the sewer line. And so they had to break the septic system down, fill it with, I think, lime, and then construct the lateral line all the way to the sewer, the main sewer line. And so I have two of them. So it was quite interesting. So I think, as you mentioned, it is going to improve the value of these homes for them to resell. So when I went through that neighborhood and was talking to them, people were mentioning to me that they're having to pump this quite frequently, and they're having problems. So hopefully they'll take advantage of it. You know, the other thing that I'd just like to mention in public that maybe you can work with the city attorney, somehow SAWS had a program where they had a hardship program where they lent money to the ratepayer to hook up to SAWS. And the reason I know that is because I signed those contracts, okay? And so, and the way that SAWS got repaid was that they put it on their bill, and they collected it with interest through their billing. And so, you know, hopefully we can arrange something like that. I'm not trying to say.
I think the
So we
program
did-
is still in
Yeah,
existence,
so-
I believe.
So Bear County said that they can help if they can provide hardship. So if there's people there that said that they were unable to for, you know, because of their income or whatever, that the county would step in and assist. And so we just haven't had that happen. And Melinda was supposed to reach out to those 10 homeowners. I don't know if she ever did or she didn't. We certainly can look into partnering with the county. We have in the past set up, it's not a PID, but something kind of similar to that.
Special assessment
Yeah,
plan
a
or
special
something?
assessment, but it was on our system. And
Right.
so this is different because SAWS is a separate system, and SAWS isn't like, it's not, they're allowed to do hardship things a little bit different because they have a public entity part of them. We don't. And so, city government can't do that, but we can, try to work with those that are lower income to be able to do that. But at some point, whether you do that or not, they're gonna have to replace their septic. And so the cost of replacing their septic and the cost of coming onto our system are pretty close. And so most people will eventually choose to get onto our system. But we'll take a look at doing something.
And the more information we have, and I know we were putting you on the spot, give us what it
I
costs.
know, I
But, you know, if we could refine that to get, okay, this is the most current impact fee, this is what we believe to be, once you demolish, because I was watching, I was going by the Locker Lane the other day, and I was watching the septic pump truck in the front yard. And so I don't know if their septics are tanks are in the front. I really don't know, but, they
A
were
lot of them
pumping
are
out.
in the back of the property as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
because they were pumping something out in the front yard. So that was just my observation. It wasn't a scientific test or anything. But anyway, anything we can do to help the residents hook up, I sure appreciate y'all looking into that option.
Yes, Counselor Marsh.
Is there any benefit to a resident hooking up as this is built in versus waiting and doing it 5 years from now or something?
I mean, other than costs continue to
That's
go
right,
up.
go up.
But there's
Yeah,
no,
that's-
no other benefit to doing it while the street's torn up and, all that kind of stuff.
Pretty much where they're coming from will just be,
Through their
building the
yard.
line through their property.
Okay.
Yes.
And then also, can we look into SAWS to see if there is a program for people that need help with sewer replacement? I think it still is. The only reason I know this is because we have a case at our law office and we're looking into it for our client. Yeah.
We'll definitely look into it.
So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, wait a minute, I hear about this, so, yeah.
We can definitely
Because
see what they
because
have and
SAWS
look
wants,
into.
well, these are older sewer lines. See, this is a new sewer line, so it's a little different, so that's what I think. Okay, thank you, appreciate it. And what's the pleasure of the council at the next meeting on this agenda item?
I'd like to put this on the consent agenda for the next
all right.
meeting, please.
And there's consensus from my colleagues. Okay, so this will be the consent agenda. Thank you. Thank you, David. Do appreciate your help. Okay, we're moving to agenda 7.6, discussion and possible action on an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a development agreement between the City of Leon Valley and RC Bandaroo Realty Group for the sale of real property, .552 acres of land, Lot 7, Dirt V-Murchison Hebner subdivision, also known as the Silo property. And our first read was held on April the 7th, 2026. And we are able to vote on this if that's the pleasure of the council, or if we need more input, we can also continue the dialogue. So, thank you, Dr. Caldera. And how do you want to handle this?
He's waving over here.
So,
I know.
is it possible to discuss some more details in executive session and then bring this back out?
Yes, you can. You can certainly do that. You have an executive session on
And we
here,
do
so
have
if
an
you wanna do
executive
that.
session. So if that's the pleasure of the council, then we will move back into executive session at 8:34 to discuss 7.6, the development agreement with our city attorney, and then we'll be back out in open session. Thank you. We stand in recess.
Very close to it. I don't know if it was exactly in the same state. Ever do. Where is that? Here it is. Here it is. Well, the next one we start at 5:30, so I don't know if I can make it. Yeah, the next one's at 5:30.
Killing me slowly, painfully.
Yeah, May 5th is at, yes, in 2 weeks.
5:30? Oh, God, let me write that down.
5:30. We have a kickoff meeting, yeah, no, we have a kickoff meeting with our master plan.
Well, I will try to be here on time, but traffic. Huh?
Okay, so we are back from executive session on item 7.6, and Mr. Campos has a motion, but we will have further discussion, so if we want anybody to bring forth some more comments, so go ahead, Mr. Campos.
So, thank you, Mayor.
You bet.
We posted the agreement, the draft agreement online, and we've all had an opportunity to review it. We've had a discussion, and here's what we'd like to change within the agreement that was posted. That in section 3.2 of the agreement, the term of the agreement, we want to make it for a 50-year period for the term. And we also would like to, at Leon Valley's cost, survey just the immediate area, probably the fenced area that will surround the silos, so that we can carve that out, that in the event there's any type of default, that the city can claw back the silos, and also have an access easement in the event that happens. But we want to talk to the developer, the city manager, to talk to the developer about these points to see if these are acceptable. And so I'd like to make the motion, Mayor, to table this item and allow the city manager to have the discussion with the developer of this property to make sure that all the terms are acceptable.
Okay. And is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll second.
Okay. There's a second by Counselor Bolton. Now, are there further discussion? We have the Historical Society here. Did you have anything that you'd like to add to the discussion? No, I don't. Okay. All right. I think that's the only. All right. So we have a motion and a second, and I can summarize the specifics that we want to discuss with the developer, and that's the increase the term from 20 years to 50 years, to that Leon Valley would bear the cost of a survey of just the fenced area of the silo, so that if in the future the city has to claw back, it would just be that area. Again, we need access and easement if that happens, and we will discuss with the developer over the next 2 weeks and bring back a more tangible, specific agreement then. Is that okay? So if there's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The motion does carry. Thank you, Mr. Bandit. And we appreciate your help this evening. Okay. All right. So agenda item number 8 is request from members of the City Council to add future topics to future agendas. Anyone have anything that you want to add? Okay, if not, and there's no further objection, we move to adjourn at 9:10, I believe it is, 9:10 on April the 21st. Thank you all very much. Have a good evening and drive safely.
Good night, Kathy.